Tusty Duppy in the Ole Pit Toilet. In the rolling hills of rural Jamaica, Malvern, St. Elizabeth, in a small village where the air carried the scent of pimento and the soil was rich with the history of its people, there is a tale that lingers like the morning mist. It was early in the 1940s, a time when the island was a tapestry of old traditions. And of course, there was change coming. Among these traditions were the stories of Duppy spirits that roamed the land, each of their own tales of sorrow and unrest. There lived a little boy by the name of Ezekiel, known for his adventurous spirits and curious mind. Ezekiel liked going out by himself. At times he would go out bird hunting with his catapult, or slingshot they call it. One time it is alleged that he shot a duppy bird, and during the night he had no rest. According to the tale, the duppy bird kept popping up in his dreams saying, "Next time, next time." They had to rub him up that night to ensure that he survived. And of course, they would have read Psalms 23. His grandmother, Miss Ruby, often warned him about the spirits that dwell in places that are forgotten and neglected, because it was said that in these places, Duppy found their refuge. One such place was the Ole Pit Toilet, located at the far end of the property, near to the edge of the dense woodland that bordered their land. It was a replica of the baths. Miss Ruby had long insisted on having a modern latrine closer to the home. However, it was always there in case of emergency or if the pit overflowed. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in a shade of orange and purple, he was playing with his ball near the pit toilet, and he was having a wonderful time. And as he played with the ball rolled closer to the pit toilet area. Eventually, the ball rolled beyond the point that he wanted to go, and as a result, he had to go after the ball. He remembered what his granny had said, and he decided to go for his ball, although it was very close to the pit toilet. As he approached, the air grew colder, and the sound of the evening seemed to have a hush around him. He reached for the ball, which had come to a stop at the wooden structure. Then he heard a soft mourn that seemed to have come from the depths of the pit itself. Ezekiel froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He remembered his grandmother's words that to acknowledge a duppy was to invite them in your life, and he didn't want to invite any duppy in his life at this point in time. Gathering his courage, Ezekiel spoke softly. "Who is there? Do you need help?" The stories also said that some duppies were lost souls in need of assistance to find peace. What was Ezekiel to do? The mourning ceased, and there was a silence so profound that Ezekiel could hear his own heart beating. Then, in a voice that was barely a whisper, it spoke. "Water." Ezekiel, recalling the various stories about the spirits and they being unsettled, ran towards the house. He fetched a cup of water and returned, hesitating only a moment before pouring it into the pit. And as the water splashed down, a cool breeze swirled around him. Carrying it was a faint whisper. "Thank you." He had no clue how and why he did what he did, and when he realized, he fainted at the edge of the pit. After dusk came, Granny was concerned and got Mas Ran and the others to light their home sweet home lamps and bottle torch. They went in search of Ezekiel, and when they found him, he was frothing from the mouth. Granny and the others rushed and grabbed him and rushed him over to the house. He was dosed with kalanga water and he revived. He then told his story. The Ole Pit Toilet was no longer a place for him to fear. He had learned the important lesson about compassion and the power of having to help someone. Miss Ruby, hearing the encounter, adding another layer of rich tapestry of stories she held. She told Ezekiel that the spirit was likely a forgotten soul from the time when the village was struck by a severe drought, a time when water was more precious than gold. Ezekiel's encounter with the Duppy at the pit became a part of the village's lore, a story passed down from generations, reminding all who heard it of the veil between the world of the living and the realms of the spirit. It was a tale of bravery, compassion, and the enduring belief in the unseen forces that walk along us every day. It was woven into the fabric of Jamaica's history and culture. And remember, I'll be posting more Duppy stories in the future. Based on the content, I think you can make a connection with your culture and, of course, allow your children to have an insight in what Duppy stories are all about. That's all for now.